Hey guys, you've found Mortgage Sense with Kevin, a common sense approach to mortgages. And if you think experience doesn't matter, you really need to listen to this show. I've got and I've known this man. I was trying to think, Chuck. I think I met you probably 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah, it was before the '08 crash.
Absolutely. It sure was. It sure was. So Chuck Jones with Remax out in Cleveland, Tennessee. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. I've been chasing you and chasing you and chasing you. And it finally, I finally had to hog tie you to get on my podcast with me. And I really do appreciate it. I really do.
I had to look up what a podcast was to even know what I was getting into, So.
It's
really old school here, Kevin.
It's just a couple of old timers talking. That's all it is. That's all it is. Chuck, I started with my radio show 12 or 13 years ago, turned it into a podcast 8 years ago, and then completely revamped it a little over a year ago. The reason I want you here, the reason I want you on the show is because there's a lot of misinformation out there. You know the games that are played in this business on the realtor side and on the lending side of this business. I started this whole platform to expose the games of the business and to talk about the positive things that are going on. Now, positive doesn't always mean exponential growth. Okay.
A great market that doesn't mean.
That's right. Exactly. It has nothing to do with it. Okay. Yeah. Transparency and correct information. Okay. That's what the two of us are about. But more important than that is who we are as people. Okay. So take 2 or 3 minutes, take 5 minutes. I'm going to go get a cup of coffee. You just keep talking. Who is Chuck Jones? Where'd you come from? How did you get into this business?
Thought they were going to be easy questions, Kevin.
I'm not going to make you cry. This is not.
I'm an ex-military guy, and so I was born and raised in Alabama on Sand Mountain. Just to give a way background, and went to the military. Went in was in the crash of the '80s, the big crash. Mm-hmm. Many people don't remember that. And so I had a family to support, so I joined the Air Force. Was very blessed in the Air Force. Did very well. I spent 5 years. Got out, and actually when I was in the Air Force, I bought my first investment property.
Wow.
And it went from there. And so I got out a year after I got my investment property and continued in real estate from 1987 till now. So I've seen a lot and done a lot, and had the good and the bad and the crazy markets and the good markets, and seen it all. Bought this company 20 years ago next year.
Wow.
And, that's about when we were together with the big recruiting campaign we did. So have went through the '08 housing downturn, and we're in this one that interest rates pretty much caused this. That's my opinion. But it seems to be the fact. Everybody's waiting on really nice interest rate.
Yes.
Because it's difficult for a home seller that has a mortgage to come out of a 3% mortgage and even do a lateral to another house with a 6% mortgage. It's tough. And so that's the stagnant market we have right now, because, and inventory is increasing. A good market in Hamilton County is around 2,000 houses active, to 2,500 even active any given day. We're at 1,300 in Hamilton County right now today, active houses. And so it's still low, but it's getting better. It's been a lot lower, but it's just getting much better. So we see an increase in inventory, which is good for the market. There needs to be choices. It doesn't need to be the frenzy we went through COVID. That was just a crazy frenzy.
That was crazy.
Well, I'm the broker at Remax Real Estate Professionals in Cleveland, Tennessee.
Because what you're talking about, and we've been through it. 08 was something I had never seen before. Of course, I'd only been in business I got in business in 2000 as far as the lending business. And it it surprised me what was going on and how volatile it got. But it was, and during the time, I didn't think it was quick. But we were out of that in 18 months, maybe. It wasn't even 2 years. It was probably a year, year and a half, where it was so volatile that we didn't know what was happening. And what we saw on our side was a complete exit of loan officers, okay, because people got into it during the refi boom. It was easy. The guidelines were easy. You didn't have to have license. It just made it very easy for people to be a loan officer. And when it gets tough, which we always see that, I don't care if we're talking about a sport. I don't care if we're talking about a multi-billion-dollar corporation. When it gets tough, you find out who people really are. So my question is to you, okay, what have you done? Because you're very successful, and success, like what we've talked about before we started, success doesn't always mean bigger numbers.
Right.
But you've been in business, what is it, 37 years? Is that right? 37 years now. How have you kept that up? How have you stayed in business 37 years? Because we do know, and we're already seeing it again, there's loan officers leaving the business and there's realtors leaving the business. You've got people that have been with you, what, 8, 10, 15 years?
The average is over 12.
The average is over 12. Okay. You know what? I'm going to shut up. How have you done that?
I'm very selective. I don't have a front door open and a back door open to herd people through. I like working with professionals. I do. And I like people that love real estate. Kevin, this is a great industry. That's why you're in it. It's why I'm in it. It's the love of what we do. I get asked all the time, when are you going to retire? What is that word? It's not even biblical. So, I don't see me doing that because I love what I do. And I think that leadership shows with the people I have because they are as passionate about real estate as I am. And it's great to work in an office like that. We're not the biggest office by far, but our production per agent, nobody touches. So because we're seasoned, been around a long time, know a lot of people in Cleveland, and I am very appreciative for the people who use me in these times, because the referral business is huge when it comes to these times. So I get asked a lot about retention when I go to corporate meetings, and a lot of them don't want to ask me because they don't want to know the answer. But I know my people. I know what they're going through. Just had a brand new baby born yesterday in our office.
Nice.
Know the husband and the wife very well, and I know all the spouses. I know children. I know my people. And boy, that helps. Helps with retention. It helps with the family atmosphere and the growth of an office. And the reason I like to stay because I love the people I'm around. And there's something about getting with clients, getting to know them, and not just doing a transaction. A lot of times before all the new changes in this month or last month with NAR, I never even looked at commission usually until a settlement statement came out because I knew it was published and it was going to be. It didn't matter to me. Commissions don't matter to me. They're going to come if you're good to people, and especially if you befriend them. And that has been the joy for me is how many friends I've made by helping people find homes. So
it's amazing. And we both have been in it long enough. I'm doing loans now for kids that were in middle school or high school that their parents used me for their loans.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see that transpire because, and it's the work that we do, but you said it, the key is the day that it's about the money, it's over. Okay. We just happen to work in an industry that is the biggest purchase that people make in their lifetimes.
It is. And it's that important.
You better believe it is. Our team meeting that we just finished 15 minutes before this was the pressure, the intensity that it goes into somebody selling the home and buying another one. And, I had one of my favorite partners, told me probably 15, 18 years ago, she said, Kevin, we've got a responsibility. Okay. She said, she said, it's not life or death business, but people feel like it's life and death, okay, when they're going through this process.
Yeah.
She said, we can either add fuel to the fire or we can be the common effect. And it's our choice because our people, our families, okay, I don't call it a database. I don't call it a, past, I call it my families that I've worked with. They're going to follow our lead. And it's so important to walk them through that process. And even though my team is still, we're not new, but we talk about that constantly about taking care of people. And I applaud you. But I can hear it in your voice. And so I want to ask a question, because there's a time in my career that I can look back, okay, in 37 years. And I know you've probably had a lot of them. Has there been a time where you said, this is what God has for me. This is why I'm supposed to be doing this. This is my calling. Has there been a defining moment that you can think back that made you say, this is what I'm supposed to be doing?
Wow. There's just so many. There's just so many. A couple of years ago, young couple sold their first house. I've never seen such joy and excitement in all my life. It excited me. And she's just a phenomenal person, phenomenal friend. We hug every time we see each other now. And there's so many of us, Kevin. The excitement of buying or selling is just, it's such a fire that you yearn for, because that you want that excitement. I like the word family. I like, instead of clients, I like the word you use, families, because that's right. It is the biggest. But when you see the excitement or you see the relief from somebody that just has to do so,
Right.
because they're pressured for whatever reason to sell a home, and they need that relief. And that's what your heart's there for.
That's it.
That's just to help people. We don't buy and sell houses. We're customer service people. And so I try to tell our guys all the time, you're the best customer service rep in the world, because you don't own the houses. So you're not buying anything. You're not selling anything. You're doing your best to help people on both sides to make a transaction work.
My hook, if they want to call it a hook, when I started this was, does experience really matter? So the answer to that question is yes. But Chuck, it goes much beyond experience, because we both know that you can have a lender or you can have a realtor that's been in business 20 years and not have 20 years experience. Okay. They can have 1 year experience 20 times. So experience.
And we deal with that in the industry, and the public does too.
Oh, absolutely.
And they pick up on that pretty quick.
Absolutely. So what's more important than anything is the character, the integrity, and the true love for what we do. And brother, it comes out. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you've done in this industry. I appreciate the way you lead your team. We need more people like you. What's the best way for someone to find you and your team?
Remax Real Estate Professionals, 423-476-7300.
Fantastic.
We're ready anytime you call for buying or selling. And even leasing. Now leasing is a big part of the industry as well. So if we can help you, you got a property you need to lease, we'll be.
Very good. Well, guys, again, I'm Kevin Blair with Element Home Loans. Our website is kevinblairteam.com. Our number is 423-488-7571. I like to say I answer it every day, almost 24/7, except church time, because Sherry takes the phone away from me during church because she knows I'll answer the call.
Good for her.
So, guys, if you like this kind of information, hit like, hit subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Chuck, man, I'm serious. I appreciate you. I know you've been dodging me, not wanting to do this. This is information that needs to be shared. It needs to be talked about. And I just want to sincerely thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Kevin. Let's do lunch.
You got it. All right. Have a great day, sir.
You too. Thank you.